Hello everyone, welcome to Wednesday Mood, a podcast where we talk about stuff and get to know more about each of ourselves. So yeah, to be honest with you, I don't know what to talk about lately, but I'm going to tell you what I've been interested in lately. So, I just got straight to the point. To be honest, I'm really tired lately because if you don't know, I'm working on a feature film actually that is going to be slated for release at the end of Q1 2023, but I don't know when exactly is it going to come out because there's so much complications and unexpected things that happen that I just can't predict everything. But so far it's going well, so let's hope this works. And today I want to talk about why things work and why the world acts like this. You see, I'm born in a family of restless people who's always overworking themselves into becoming a better person at least. Well, if you could call my mom and dad a better person. I don't know. But our family has this fixation on knowledge being power and knowledge being the key to success, and I'm a firm believer in that. I'm a firm believer that knowledge is what gives you success and happiness. And why is that so? Why is knowledge the most important thing? Now, before I really answer all that, before I really tell you why I think education is that important, I want to talk to you through my experience on learning philosophy. So, my dad has always said to me that learning philosophy helps you with thinking. So, if you were to major maybe in economics and you study philosophy too, people would hire you a lot more because philosophy, unlike other majors, really increases your curiosity on how things work. And when I learned that from my dad, when my dad told me about that, I was interested and I was keen into studying like what philosophy is. You see, just to give you some sort of background, I'm not a person who likes to study, to be honest. I'm a person who likes to learn. There's a difference between studying and learning. Studying is when you learn something when you at least read and memorize and do something for a test, while learning is just something you do out of curiosity. I've always loved to improve myself, but I was never that interested when it comes to learning history and learning philosophy, because first thing first, though, I thought, well, it's not that important. Why should I learn philosophy? Why should I study it? Why should I study history? Well, why should you? That was my question. Sorry about that. Why should we study philosophy? What do you think? For me, I think studying philosophy is about understanding how the world works. Because we go around in life, I'm sorry for the sirens outside, but we go around in life not understanding who we really are and why the world works this way, why the world sometimes feel like it's so chaotic and yet somewhat really beautiful, why some people could be so filled with anger but driven also with passion and such things. Philosophy answers those things, and one of my favorite philosophers is Carl Jung. You see, I'm learning a lot of philosophers now. I've adopted Socrates' ways of thinking, and I think every single philosophers and also great thinkers also think about a lot of things. Most people don't like to think, which I think is not a good thing. That's a lot of think, because when you think, you solve a lot of problems out of it, and you manage to think about how do you actually move on with your life rather than try to complain? Because I was a serial complainer back then. I always blame everything. I blame my parents for raising me like this, for raising me into a timid boy. I blamed, to some extent, because I believe in God. I blame God of my existence. Why am I put inside this very turbulent nation, and why am I so afraid? And I blamed everyone. I blamed even myself. I hate myself, but why is that so? Why do I hate myself so much? I use philosophy as a practical way to understand myself, and I'll go into Carly a little bit later, but one of the most influential is Albert Camus, or Albert Camus as some people would call him. He says that suffering, I think it was also Dostoevsky's too idea about saying that suffering gives life meaning, and that puts everything into perspective, because all these times I blame God and I don't understand why I'm going through all of this, even though in the end my problem is actually not having that much of a purpose. I found out about myself that out of all the experience in my life, out of all the bad and good experience, I wasn't chasing greatness, I was avoiding it because I was afraid of being rejected. From the very moment when I was very little, here's, let me tell you why I'm afraid to talk to people now. I used to be like chit chatter. I used to talk a lot. I used to command even my own parents and all that stuff. I would take someone else's random son, put them in the house, and tell them to play my games, because that's just how confident and also like I know what I want back then. And then one day, I thought to myself, I want to make my parents like feel wholesome and stuff. So one evening, I told my parents like this: Mom, Dad, remind you, I was like 4 or 5. I told them that I would remember them when I'm in heaven. And that might sound like a wholesome thing for a kid to say, but to parents, that is one of the most terrifying things you could ever hear. For your son to relate something that is probably something that's so terrifying for them. And I feel that when I got scolded after that for not saying something like that, I start to second guess myself. I was always afraid of being rejected like that, so I'd rather not do anything sometimes rather than do something only just to get rejected. I was afraid of failure. Now that I understand what my core pains is, what my core wounds and trauma is, I have a new question in mind, which is, how do I actually solve this? Learning philosophy has helped me to be inspired and try to find the whole meaning of life, and try to find the whole meaning of everything in this world, from ideologies and such. And I'm the type of person who doesn't fall into one sort of a beliefs. Of course, because I'm a believer in God, I use that as my fundamentals, even though I'm also a sinner, of course. I make contents like that. To some extent, I'm also kind of a hypocrite, but I understand that I know where I should fall off and fall into, and I understand being that as my core beliefs. It gives me a perspective on how to handle other people's own opinions and also beliefs. I don't just follow what the media says. I don't just follow what other philosophers said. I take things from them. If I don't agree with them, I just reject them. If No, I don't outrightly reject them. I try to find good ideas that I could integrate in my own life, or I could make it a hybrid. Or if I were to like be hit with a realization that yes, that makes sense and that's the right belief, I would change because I'm that type of person. I won't stick into one sort of an opinion just because people tell me to. That's just not me. I was raised to think and to understand. And I want you people, I want you loves, I want you darlings to think too. I want you to question yourself. Are you happy with you being just like this? If yes, what do you think could be improved on? And if no, what do you think you can do? What sorts of memories that shape you the way you are? And it's not gonna be easy. Trust me, going through all your traumas and to find out who you are is not easy. But trust me, when you find it, when you find the patterns and when you understand yourself, you will learn to be someone who's more calm, more intelligent, and also more happy in life. I'm not happy yet. I'm not there yet, but I'm at my most content in my probably years of living. This is my most content, even though I'm in one of the most craziest times of my life. But I'm glad that I found a sense of purpose. And one thing for you people who don't know what your purpose is, I won't tell you the answers because the important thing is not the answers, the important thing is the questions you ask. Judge not a person by the quality of their answers, but by the quality of their questions. I forgot who said it, I'm sorry, but I'll quote it. And yeah, I think that's all from me from today. I'll talk about it more tomorrow, and I hope you all have a great day. I love you. Bye bye.